Hi everyone, it's Adrienne Leah. I wanted to do a part 2 video for my Japanese Myth Tarot review because I mainly focused on the major arcana and I was running out of time by the time I got to the minor arcana. So this is the deck. I separated the major arcana because I'm not going to talk about them. So I also wanted to talk about a specific symbol in here. So this is the Shinto talisman called the Magatama, and I wanted to talk about it more because I didn't address that symbol when I was talking about the review, and that might be important for when you're doing your interpretations and readings. And it's shown on all of the Pentacles suit, so I figured that that would be something to talk about. So I'm doing Pentacles first, then Swords, Cups, and Wands if you want to skip around. But I figured that this one would be the first one I would go to, since it's the one that I wanted to mainly address. So the Magatama has a couple different symbolisms, meanings. So it could be protection from evil or giving prosperity. So that makes sense if it's going to be in the Pentacles suit. And prosperity doesn't need to be associated with the Pentacles, but that could be one of the meanings. So with the name Maga, it's bent or curved, and Tama is it's the stone or gem. So it's the material that it's made out of, because there's Shinto jewelry that's this symbol that you can wear as a necklace that I've seen. So there are Shinto deities in here too, so it makes sense that this would be in here. I like that there's direction with the aces. So this is the swords ace of swords. And it features a specific symbol that's focused in the suit. So this one you have the Magatama, this one you have a sword. And the figures can be wearing different things. They can have different type of jewelry, ornate pieces on. So this one looks like she has horns. And there is the pathway, and it looks like a gate that you would see to go into a community or to leave a community. A lot of muted colors in here, and the roads are bumpy and they're swerving. And it looks like she has a type of braided design on her kimono. This one's an interesting one because it looks like they have elasticity to the rope or elastic that the person has, and you can see that it could be a courier person. You have the clear skies, but there's a grading effect. So it could be a sun rising. And I love how it looks like it's off the water, because Japan's an island, or made up of islands. And there's the movement in the water. It looks like there could be sharks or a dolphin. And there is a depiction of flow and moving forward and trying to keep your balance, but the person also looks distracted too. But there is optimism in the facial expression, and it's interesting because I did say how it reminded me of maybe a yin and yang symbol. But the figure has more of a working clothing. Then you have the figure again, and you have more of the symbols up here. They're different colors. And now it looks like they're leaving and going onto a dirt road. Getting maybe assisted or being led by a rabbit. Somehow the rabbit is journeying and on the path of the person. And it could be maybe you're the rabbit, or talking about cycles, attributes of what the rabbit symbolizes. And you can see that it's slightly rocky, and it looks like they could be off the beaten path. And it looks like the person is carrying reed. And here you can see that this could be an archway, maybe going into another realm, maybe something that needs to be learned. 3 could be an important number for this time too. Maybe something more celestial, spiritual beings helping during the process or needing to have some guidance. So maybe different types of guidance. Could be spiritual guidance to help with physical endeavors. But there is a bit of curiosity too between the two, and it looks like there could be an offering. There's still the creature in the water there though, so that could be more of a caution. The Four of Pentacles has a familiar stance to him, because it looks like he's holding the Magatamas to himself. And he does have a bit of a kind of a greedy expression. And the sky is a different color if you look at the comparisons. This one's a white background. This one's a gray background. And gray seems like it could depict middle ground too. Could be holding on to things, but it could be hoarding too, needing to make some sacrifices. But it seems like he really wants to hold on to what he has. And it looks like he's sitting on a stone that matches his clothing. It kind of reminds me of a drink too, or an ocarina, an instrument. But he looks like he's on higher ground based off of the buildings that are here. But this reminds me of maybe some type of leader, especially if they're in war. And I like how the use of the symbol is shown in different ways. So looking at the threes, you have the Three of Pentacles. You have it clustered up in different colors. So that could be elemental, could be spiritual, maybe depicting mental state too, or what's needed. And there isn't a green one, which maybe I would associate with Pentacles, but the Pentacles, the Magatamas that are throughout the deck, it seems like they're this tan color too. But I have seen green ones in the deck. I love the traditional hair in here. So I enjoy the spiritual take on this, and as I said in my other video, I do feel like this is a spiritual deck. I might have to do another part video because I'm already at 11 minutes. But there is a sacred look to them. It looks like they're healers, and it reminds me of the bunny that was in the Three of Pentacles too. And this reminds me of a pentacle, some type of movement or starfish. But the person that's in this card is in the other cards too. So the 2 and the 3s. Maybe something went wrong, or they're healing themselves, or they're being guided or watched over. The sky looks more bleak, but the beings don't look too concerned. I think that it could be some type of divine providence too. So you see another creature here, and I think this could be a yokai. This looks like a more transformed person, because this looks like the person that was getting healed, and this also looks like the person that was on the 2s and 3s. And also we're having the scales from the butterfly. This also reminds me of Transfiguration too, and you can see details in the fingertips, that there is more life in the hands. And the clothing looks more ornate. You can see that there's bows on here too. And it looks like a showering of the Magatamas. So that could be a blessing. I think that this would be a sign that would be nice to see in a reading. This could also be an aging person too, because they do look a bit older than how they were in the 2 of Pentacles. So the person looks like they're aging in here. And their face is slightly covered up, so maybe things are slowly revealing themselves. Or maybe it could be an inner or conscience decision of the change that you can get from a butterfly. And it's interesting how now they have the scroll open, whereas the 2 and 3s, they were maybe delivering. It could have been a lower ranking. And the scroll is blank. But they're surrounded by Magatamas, so maybe they're creating stuff now too. And that's how they're making their money and gaining favor from their guides. There's also clearer waters, but it curves too. And the background is a bit of a gray with mountains, but the mountains are on the sides as if they were clearing the path, or they're surrounded by the path. Not surrounded. They're on the sides. And then the colors are green. A little bluish there too. But there's a worried expression on the person's face. This one's an interesting card because I don't really see this in decks. So it looks like they could be bees or flies. Then at the bottom there's snakes. And the trees look like they have coins in them. But it looks like he figured stuff out, and he's closing his eyes too in this picture. The other ones, he had his eyes open besides the Six of Pentacles. This could have been winning favor for the Four of Pentacles. Maybe someone higher up. But he does have a more of a meditative stance, or relaxed, which can be good, but there's also the things that are surrounding him with the gray background. So you could see at the bottom where he's sitting, it could be a structure like his house or just a seat, because it has the pillars at the bottom, which seems to be a traditional design for Japanese architecture. And some of the snakes are crawling up, which, depending on the reading, it could vary. But the symbols of the Magatama are surrounding him. So it does seem like a fruitful card, regardless. But there's also a stubbornness that reminds me of the Four of Pentacles, because the Four of Pentacles also has more of a structured, more tense stance. But this one, it could also look relaxing too, again, depending on the reading. Because throughout the deck, there's a lot of intention, especially with the way that things are positioned. But at the same time, even with Japanese films and their different mangas and their animes, they have a lot of movement, like a swiftness to them. So the Nine of Pentacles, interesting that you see a woman here instead, which traditionally in the Nine of Pentacles you would see, but since we've been seeing another figure, it seems like you could take it somewhere with that it could be somebody that they may have to provide for. But this could also be a person that's also well-made too, that has gone through this process. And her Magatamas are another color, and they could be a different type of material. but there's a yellow background too, so that could be something that's happy. But there's also berries, and berries tend to be poisonous depending on what type of berry they are. And there's ribbons. So this could be more of a desirable card. But there's a cloak, and there's so much detail, and you can see that like there's a checkerboard pattern there too. So I probably will just get through 2 suits in this video. Then I can get into the other 2 suits. If I have time for the sword suit, but I might just have time for the Pentacles for this video. So there's the 10 of Pentacles, and this could be, it looks like the same figure or a child too, maybe taking after the person in the 9 of Pentacles, but you could see both, and you can see carrying the weight of the other person. And with berries, it could be coming in at a certain time of the year. So this one, there's actually rainbow Magatamas, and there's the rabbit again. Only the rabbit is a different color, and they have a different color Magatama too. More of a fuchsia. And the bow and arrow that you see in the other card that they're on. So I feel like I saw it in another one. This could be more of a deity too, or maternal figure in the Ace of Pentacles. So this could also be an instrument as well. And there's blue skies. There is a repeating building in the back, like you get in the Ace of Pentacles. So that seems to be reflecting off of that too. It's different though. There are more hills, but it could mean another journey. And there's also the trees in the background. And the rabbit looks like he's curious. And it's interesting with the way that they're positioned too, especially with the woman waving to the back. Maybe they got married off. But it reminds me of a child though, which seems a little different from the 9 of Pentacles. But it could be the same person, because they're wearing the same type of colors. So this could be a rabbit yokai. And that looks like an offering. It kind of reminds me of like fishing. And you could see the repeating aquatic creature in the back. And this pattern, he's also wearing a Magatama, so he can help with the finances too, or the pentacles of protection. But definitely a curious expression. And it's a white rabbit, like in the Ten of Pentacles. Maybe that was the type of ancestry lineage of the rabbit. And a very yellow background that you also get in the Nine of Pentacles too. Another yellow background, but it's more of a mustard yellow, is the Knight of Pentacles, and you also get one from the Queen of Pentacles too. Interestingly, you have the woman again, and she doesn't look as pleased as in the Nine of Pentacles and in the Ten of Pentacles. Feels like almost asking if it was worth doing. On another note, it may have nothing to do with that. This could be a worried expression, like a maternal expression. But you have the repeat of the berries. This could also be a separation too, but definitely deep in thought. And she's holding the Magatamas instead of being surrounded by them. But with the Nine of Pentacles, the butterfly comes from the Six of Pentacles too again, and there's a horse, a darker horse, which reminds me of Fruits Basket, which is another manga that turned into an anime. Because I was talking about Inuyasha a lot for the Major Arcana. This one looks like an optimistic one. And the Magatama colors vary, so you can definitely put that in your reading too. This also looks like more of an intense, serious type of horse expression. And they're wearing the harness, like if they were leading somebody or somebody had some type of ownership towards them, which with the Nine of Pentacles, it kind of makes sense because, or it does make sense because there is almost like a selflessness that comes from the Knight of Pentacles and doing one's duty that could be for a higher up person. So with the Knight of Pentacles, you also have the same color Magatama that's in the Queen of Pentacles, but there also seems to be some type of wanting to move. There's a movement there, and then there's also a dark bottom there too. So these might be things to consider. Also, with the background, you can see that there's some pillars there for the Queen of Pentacles, but also there's like a desert type of scenery, but there's water there, so there is potential if that is what that picture is. And it's really cool how the dress seems to be connected to the bottom part there, so it could be more of like open pants. And this also seems like an older person in this picture than this one. This seems to be like more exciting energy from the Nine of Pentacles. But I feel like with the Queen of Pentacles in this one, needing to see that there's still a lot to be thankful for, even if it doesn't seem like you have what you had in the Nine of Pentacles. Being surrounded by Magatamas, because now you own the Magatamas, and now you can maybe work your way up to different ones if you want. So with the King of Pentacles, it's nice because the person has the rabbit again. And he's holding the rabbit, and it looks like he's thankful and being happy that the rabbit is still there. This was the card with the bow and arrow that I saw in the Ten of Pentacles. This one seems more of a solemn, poised expression. But there's also a caring expression too. Especially going through the cards with the figure in it and seeing what was the journey. And there's the white background here too with the orangey type of background, and even the structure there. And with the rabbit being there, it seems to be that there could be being happy that the person was able to do all these things. And still having the same color as, or having more of an orangey color than the wife or the Queen of Pentacles. So maybe this was like a younger phase. But he also has a similar expression. It's not like it changed as much as the Queen of Pentacles. But I do feel like there's some type of family. But it was interesting seeing the dynamics and the journey of the figure that was really focused on in the Pentacle suit. So I'm going to stop this one because I don't want to rush through the sword suit. But I hope if you guys do have this deck or want to get this deck, I think that this is a deck that's amazing with the way that it portrays things. And if you see different symbols in here, it'd be nice to look into the different things that there are in Japanese culture, and making the connections can really help with your interpretations. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was a helpful video. And if you liked seeing the Pentacle suit, I'm probably going to do the other suits anyway, but you can let me know if you want to see them. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.